Before we start the video, I'd like to mention that I'm changing up the series a bit. Firstly, I'm bringing back the ever-loved ranking scale, and I'm changing up the format to be more like the plain review, so don't miss out on crucial plot points. But with that, we all know Illumination, the company that made animation a cheap and profitable business without adding any quality to the films, the company that created the Lorax and Grinch films, definitely not making them bland and inoffensive whatsoever. Their first franchise, and to this day their biggest franchise, is Despicable Me. Not only is it their biggest franchise, it's also the biggest franchise in animation as a whole. So hi, my name is Animation Review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Despicable Me franchise. The first Despicable Me movie is actually the only well-received one by most critics, and I would agree with them. This film has good jokes, good characters, and the minions aren't too annoying. It's got a few problems. Things like the shopping scene aren't amazing, but I can look past that because this film has everything you could want in an animated comedy film. But no more than that. My only problem with the film is that it doesn't give you anything more than a fun kids film. That is still pretty good, so I rate it 70 out of 100. It's the first and only good Illumination movie, but if there's something good about this film that stays like that in future films, it's Gru. His character has a charm to it which really excels in his chemistry with the girls, and it's something I hope will carry the quality of the sequels. If I had to sum up this film in one word, it would be mixed. This film is average, but not in the usual Illumination way of it being boring and formulaic and painfully inoffensive. This film has good points and terrible points. The minions have become much more annoying, and while I never thought the normal minions were too terrible, the infected purple minions were the most insufferable and annoying creatures to ever be animated. The villain El Mocho is still also pretty bad. He's intimidating as a villain, but he's not funny nor compelling. Apart from his fake-out death, it's comically exaggerated and feels like something out of Emperor's New Groove. But other than that, the villain is really weak. But on the good side, you have the human characters who weren't suspected dead. Agent Ramsbottom is about as good a character as his name. But other than that, Agent Lucy is funny at the beginning and wholesome at the end. And overall, that's how the good part feels. There's just this positive energy coming from Gru here, and it's really uplifting. It's something that made the movie a lot easier to get through. Is this movie anything good? Not really, but it's a nice, albeit mediocre movie. I drank it 52 out of 100. Oh, and now we have the infamous Minions movie. What about this film can I say that hasn't already been said? Oh yeah, this film's alright. Well, not exactly, but I think that the start is pretty cool, showing how Minions need to find an evil criminal mastermind so that they can survive. And I like how they find a safe place to build up civilization, but they become depressed because they don't have a master. That was pretty creative. I also like the fact that it gave Kevin, Bob and Stuart bigger personalities. They're still one note, but less so. But this film does have negatives. Herb is the most annoying character ever. The minions after they find Scarlet are just annoying. The song sequences are cool. The storybook sequence was creatively animated and nicely exaggerated at the end. But the story overall is pretty bland and awful. It's a mix for me, but it's a mix of decent and below average, so I'd say I prefer Despicable Me 2. I would make comparisons to Cars 2, but you know why that's not going to happen. Overall, it's 49 out of 100. This film is possibly the most insufferable thing that I've ever witnessed. Yes. Even worse than the Emoji Movie. I hate this film so much that I wrote that previous statement into the script as a joke before realising that I agree with that statement. I would rather watch the cynically conceived film that is basically just a bunch of adverts awfully strewn together than the most awful sequel known to mankind. Again, I will not withdraw from that statement. I said earlier that Gru was the saving grace of this franchise, till he became an annoying arsehole and hates Drew for having hair. I shall remind you that this was before Drew had his first annoying scene with the cars. Then he likes Drew again because he had a cool car, but you can't sympathise with Drew either because he acts extremely cocky and is no point anything good. So your main plot is an argument between two arseholes, and the side story is really forgettable. Agnes is cute, that story's fine. But the other story about the cheese is awful. While Gru and Drew are both really unlikable, Lucy is a pinhead. The idea that she's still new to the concept of being a mum is nice, but I do believe that even she knows the difference between going hard on her children and pressuring them into something they don't want to do. and it's a big leap up from getting exercise to dancing with a foreign boy that you don't know. That's the sort of thing you'd want to discourage your kids from doing. The villain, Balthasar, is the most annoying character ever. All he does is try to be a nostalgic marketing device when he's actually the most annoying thing to ever be animated. Well, no, it's the Purple Minions, but he came as a close second. This guy was complete awful, like the comedy. This film starts out with the naked Gru joke. Remember when I said you couldn't get worse than a cat filter joke? I stand corrected. This movie is the worst in the entire franchise. It's technically better than the Emoji Movie, but I'd still rather watch that. 11 out of 100, it's better than Abysmal, but calling it better than anything is giving it too much credit. This franchise would be filled with awful movies that were fit for this list, but only one fell into this category, and the other ones were either good or a mix of good and less good. It's actually quite surprising. I thought I'd find more things to complain about, especially with Minions, but I didn't find anything that I really hated, apart from the entirety of Despicable Me 3. But either way, my name is Animation Review. That was my review of Despicable Me. I hope you enjoyed, and I bid you good night.